What's going on, everyone? It's High Roller bringing you another recap video. This time around, we're going to be looking at Omega Labs' first venture into CWL with a recap of CWL Lite Season 3. I want to start off by giving a big thank you to all of the CWL organizers and other participants to help bring such a great experience to Clash of Clans as a whole. Also want to give a big thank you to all the Omega Labs leadership for the crazy amount of planning and organizing time they put in every week to help make this season a huge success. The overall experience has been awesome, and I think everybody can agree that they did a wonderful job. Finally, I'd also like to give a big thank you to the entire Omega family and all its members and the Reddit Omega leadership for their support and participation throughout the entire season, because it really does take a ton of time and effort to keep something like this going at such a high level. So as most of you may know, the first CWL experience went about as well as it possibly could for Omega Labs. They ended up coming out as the league champions with a 12-3 record, finishing on an impressive 12-war win streak. Reddit Omega, our parent clan of the family, has been competing at the highest level of CWL Invite from the very beginning, so most people knew the Omega name and its reputation as a very strong clan. Now, Omega Labs never really had serious aspirations to join CWL until about midway through Season 2, when the idea started getting kicked around amongst the leadership and a few other people. However, looking over the roster, it was thought that getting a strong active participation every week could be a little difficult. So decided to approach the Reddit Omicron clan and the family about, call it a light merge, I don't know, bringing a few members up to Omega Labs. There are actually a handful of people down in Omicron, myself included, that had some previous high-level war experience, and ultimately there was a bunch of us that decided to step back into the ring. So with the addition of the Omicron members, Labs felt that was in a pretty good position to apply to CWL, and they chose to enter the Light League for our inaugural season. A lot of the members from Omicron actually stepped right into leadership roles in Labs and took a highly active role in the CWL experience itself. Little Zeb became a co-leader very quickly, took on the role of CWL roster organizer, and his wife Steeler was promoted to elder early in the season and specialized in base building for the entire clan. And then some guy named High Roller, after he got a new computer, decided to try out some YouTube recaps, and I guess it turned out okay. So now that we got some of the background out of the way, let's take a look at the season itself. As you saw in the intro, we had some very strong individual performers from the clan that actually made the league-wide season leaderboards at all three Town Hall levels. Town Hall 11 level, we had Twin leading the entire league, going 22 out of 24 in 11v10 dips for a crazy 91.7% hit rate. And then unofficially, the combination of Will and Rex throughout the entire season going an impressive 18 out of 20 for a 90% hit rate. Like I said, it's unofficial because neither of them had enough attacks to qualify for the leaderboards, but it's just too strong of a performance not to mention. Town Hall 10, we actually had 3 people on the leaderboard. You had Chupacabra and Kaka both coming in with 5 10v10 triples. And Brock also came in with 4 to sit comfortably on the leaderboard. Town Hall 9 level, Dexter led the entire league, going ridiculous 27 out of 30 for a 90% hit rate. And we also had the Vid coming in at 18 out of 28, 64% hit rate, to fall comfortably on the leaderboard as well. So the early season, you could say, was a little bit of a struggle. Started out 0-3 with 2 very close losses, one of them by 1 star and the other one by percent. And we were handed a pretty good defeat by Gabales, but as you'll see later, we end up getting our revenge. Week 1 versus Connect Society was actually a 70-70 tie on stars. However, they beat us by about a percent and a half. We had a very strong Town Hall 9 performance this war. You know, Chupa came in with a 10v10 6-pack and strong 10v11. Ultimately we just couldn't quite get there, but we thought it was an okay start. Then week 2, first matchup with Cabales, they pretty much just handed it to us. It was a tough war. Not a lot to say about it, other than I guess we end up with the last laugh later in the season. Week 3 versus Shijana was our one-star loss. We made a late run at it, but ultimately ended up falling a little short. So attitude as a whole was getting a little down. It was tough. I mean, 0-3 when you have pretty high expectations going in is a tough way to start the season. But then week 4 against Highlanders, the tides of war began to turn, and we came in with our first win. Pretty much Labs hit on all facets. I mean, we only missed 2 stars. Our Town Hall 11 started their perfect run of dips. 10v11, we went 2 out of 2, cleared in the first 2 hits. Chupa had another 10v10 6-pack. And Town Hall 9 struggled a little bit, but still managed to clear everything. And week 5 versus Paradox. This was pretty much a dominating performance. We had 3 10v10 triples, perfect dips from the 11s. Town Hall 9s had a 60% hit rate. Yeah, this is also when Wife Stealer was added to the leadership team, and also happens to be the first recap of the season that I actually did. The next stretch of wars here was just, we'll go through each of them, but I mean, Town Hall 9, Town Hall 11, just ridiculously OP performance. Week 6 versus LexCorp, we came away with the 1-star victory. It only came down to the last attack of the war. They needed to attempt an 11v11 to try to triple it, because it was the only way that they would have been able to beat us by percent. So even if they would have tripled another Town Hall 10, we would have had percent on them. Chris actually had a huge war. He cleared both of the 11s for us. And then Kaka and Yato both had 10v10 triples. There were 5 Town Hall 9 6-packs at war. Week 7 versus SM Autobots. Strong 2-star victory. Town Hall 9s, like I said, just huge performance. 9 attacks to spare. I mean, Town Hall 9 defense was just amazing. We actually required them to have 5 nukes against our Town Hall 9s. And like I said, once again, perfect dips by our Town Hall 11s. And Kaka had a 10v10 triple for his 3rd in as many wars. So huge run by him there on the 10v10. Week 8 versus Black Lotus. They came in at 6-1, leading their division. And I don't know, we must have caught them on an off week or something, because we handed it to them pretty good. The 5-star victory, 71-66. Once again, 6 Town Hall 9 6-packs, 5 of them fresh. Feel like a broken record here, but perfect. Town Hall 11s again. We weren't able to get any 10v10 triples. However, we were able to clear both of the 11s with our 10s. And once again, Town Hall 9 defense. They needed 4 nukes to clear our Town Hall 9s. So huge shout out to the Town Hall 9 base builders. Great job, great job. Week 9, our first matchup versus Red Onslaught. This was a really close war, very similar performance on both sides. We ultimately ended up coming away with a 1-star victory, 70-69. Big difference is that we were able to clear one of their Town Hall 11s, and they were unable to 2-star either of our Town Hall 11s. So, Town Hall 9 attack and defense, super strong. Had 8 attacks to spare. Unfortunately, we weren't able to turn any of the scouts into 10v10 triples. But just Town Hall 9 as a whole, there was 7 different Town Hall 9 bases that required, 3 or more hits to clear. So just super strong performance by Town Hall 9 for sure. Moving on, Week 10 versus Heavy Hitters. This was a really fun war. We decided to run a heavier breakdown, the breakdown of what CWL Rising runs, going 30v30. Ended up coming away with a 2-star victory, 86-84, and you can call this war the return of the Town Hall 10s, I guess. And we had 4 10v10 triples. Town Hall 9 stayed strong. 7 Town Hall 9 6-packs. James with 8 defenses at Town Hall 9. This was probably one of my favorite wars, probably because it was my best performance war. Clearing one of the 11s and getting one of the 10v10 triples. So that was our, what was it, 7th win in a row. So that brings us into our final regular season match of the year versus Ozjacks. This was for the division title. We win the division. They win the division. So I mean, lot leading up to this extremely high pressure war. Very, very close war. We ended up coming away with the 1-star victory, 73-72. And as I said, that gave us the division title. We had 3 10v10 triples, which was ultimately the difference in the war. They were not able to get as many. And the highlight of this war has got to be the one and only, and I believe first and maybe first ever, Town Hall 9 versus Town Hall 11 legitimate 2-star attack by Wife Stealer. I mean, what else can you say? Just, a 9v11 2-star. That, 10v11 2-star is really hard to do, and we did it with Town Hall 9. And on top of that, we had 7 Town Hall 9 6-packs. So, I mean, Town Hall 9's all season just crushing it. Huge shout out to all of the Town Hall 9s out there. Just overall, very strong war. Well, with the division title, also brings us into the playoffs. We went in as the 6th seed division winner. First matchup against rematch versus Red Onslaught, who we had just seen, a few weeks prior. This one, very, very similar results to the first meeting. However, this time we were able to clear both of their 11s, and they didn't clear either of our 11s, so we ended up with a 2-star victory instead of a 1-star victory. Just like the first war, Town Hall 10 versus 10 was very tough on both sides. So, but ultimately, broken record. Town Hall 9, Town Hall 11, just staying strong. Perfect dips. Huge Town Hall 9 performance that gave us the victory. All right. Week 2, the quarterfinals against Ain't Nobody. The Beast Mode finish. So here's the scenario. 30 minutes left in war. We're down 5 stars. We have 5 attacks left to go. We needed 5 successful attacks in a row. And this included a 10v11, a 10v10, and 3 11v10 dips. And we pulled it off to come away with the 0.64% victory. We actually tied 72-72. Town Hall 9, 65% hit rate again, so they were huge. Had had lots of scouts, and ultimately we were able to turn it into just enough to pull out the victory. But I mean, huge shout out to them. Ain't nobody. I mean, crazy, crazy war. That leads us into the semifinals and our rematch with Cabales. They were the number one seed, and we brought it to them. Came away with the 2-star victory, 71-69. Once again, perfect dips by the 11s, 5 Town Hall 9 Sixers. They actually also had perfect dips and one 11v11 triple that happened right at the end of the war when they were in kind of Hail Mary mode. If they had tried it earlier on, that may have changed the outlook of the war, but fortunately for us, it worked out that it was, the last attack of the war, and it was kind of didn't make a difference at that time. One really unique thing about this war is that there were actually no La Lune attacks that ended up being the final attacks on any base. So the witches reigned supreme this war. But hey, whatever works. It just shows the versatility that Omega Labs has, and that we're not a one-trick pony. Very, very strong at every attack strategy, really. And with that victory, we move on to the finals. Finals matchup with Archer Outlaws, and probably the worst feels bad man moment of any war, and fortunately for us, it happened on their side. Pretty late in the war, they were going for 11 versus 10 dip, and pretty much ended up with a 99.95% 2-star attack. Thanks to some OP skeleton trap placement, distracting 3 P.E.K.K.A.s from being able to take down the last 5 hit points of an elixir storage. This was really the turning point in the war. It gave Labs some hope in what was looking like was not looking good to end the war, and that attack just rejuvenated Labs, and I think was kind of a demoralizer to Archer Outlaws. Big performance this war by Walter, going 2 for 2, clearing both of the 11s. We had one 10v10 early on by Brock to clear one of the 10s and get that out of the way. And once again, perfect dips. But I mean, big shout out to them on early war. Their Town Hall 9s came out and put out one of the best, probably the best performance I've ever seen from Town Hall 9, going 17-22 to clear our bases with, I don't know, what is that, 12 attacks left to go. So they had tons of scouts, and, worked out that they weren't able to bring it home, and we ended up with the 3-star victory, 72-69, and brought home the Season 3 CWL Lite Championship to the Omega family and to Omega Labs. And, that's just great performance. So, I mean, I guess, like I said, this is probably the best start you could have into, CWL Lite, CWL experience in general. Definitely looking forward to getting into the Rising League in Season 4, seeing what we can do there. Definitely think we can continue our strong performance. I'm a little weary that, seeing with the new update, I'm worried that maybe recapping a whole lot of ties next season at Perfect Wars, because I think all these high level clans in CWL is going to figure out, all 3 Town Hall levels getting triples. So, I mean, I guess it's It's up in the air. We'll see what happens. We'll see if all these changes make it through to season 4. I don't know. We'll see. But guess that's going to conclude it for the season recap. Once again, I'd like to thank everybody for watching these recaps throughout the year. We'll continue doing them. We'll pick some, different arranged wars against some other clans to do recaps on and keep it going until we get into season 4. Once again, leave your comments, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. But just thanks to everybody. Once again, repeat thanks to all of the Omega family and leadership for all the hard work they put in, all the CWL organizers and participants. So let's try to keep Clash relevant and keep it moving forward. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.